you one thing, if a little green man pops out of me, I'm shooting first and asking questions later.
You are on the verge of destroying the entire universe.
Welcome to the Strange Podcast with Sam and Logan.
If you enjoy the show, please go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you're listening, and please give us a good rating. If you want to share a story or have ideas for a future episode, you're welcome to visit us at www.thestrangepodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Welcome to The Strange Podcast. This is episode 31. And as always, I'm Logan Marks.
And I'm Sam Baxter. Today's May 18th, 2018.
Oh man, do we got a show for everybody today?
Ooh, everybody.
Good show.
How have you been doing?
Tired?
I
don't know. I'm just getting old.
Getting old, huh?
Tired. I'm going blind. My body's falling apart.
That is life, isn't it? Guess you should just get on some steroids or something.
Steroids might be working. Yeah. That might help.
Yeah, some steroids. I don't know, man. It works for Schwarzenegger, right? So maybe it'll work for you too.
He never took steroids, did he?
Man. Yeah, that's all natural. That's right.
That was all natural.
Yeah, human bodies can look like that after lifting so much. No problem.
Yeah, falling apart. I wish I was Deadpool, man.
Man, that guy's immortal.
Yeah, I know. Something happens, you just fix it right up.
The only problem is he looks ugly as sin, but I guess with that mask, you'll be all right.
Well, I've already got the ugly part down, so if I could just get regeneration,
yeah, that's true. You can just. I don't need to be completely like him. I'm already ugly.
I'm 50% there.
I know. I'm 50% Deadpool already. I got the ugly part down. I'm just not in shape. I'm not strong. I'm not fit. I'm not immortal. Yeah, that movie, man. I think that just came out today, didn't it?
Did it come out? Yeah, it comes out this Friday today. Yeah. So, are you gonna go watch it?
I'm supposed to go see it next week.
Next week. You're not gonna be there waiting in line.
Never.
Dressed as Deadpool.
I am not 14 anymore. I'm not doing that. Those days of going on of day one are over for me, man.
I'm gonna go there dressed up like Harry Potter.
Nah, man. I'm gonna piss off a lot of people, but I never liked Harry Potter. I just couldn't get into it.
I couldn't either. I didn't like it at all.
I didn't like it either, and I gave all of them a chance except for the very last movie. I just didn't like it. I just didn't think it was very good.
They just felt like really bad Scooby-Doo episodes. And
Scooby-Doo was good, so you that's saying a lot, man. Because I like Scooby-Doo, but yeah, I don't know.
Did you? I did not like Scooby-Doo because it was always the same
premise.
I don't know. They always. Yeah, same premise, like every time.
The reason I think I liked it was because I was into all the spooky stuff and all the weirdness, right? Everything else, like back then, was like, there was horrible, like Droopy Dog or what was that?
Comedy.
What was that bear in the park? Hey, boo boo. Remember that?
Oh, Yogi Bear.
I hated all those. Those were all the same. To me, they were all the same thing. They were just like the same type of drawing team just did every one of those episodes, and I just hated those.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera. I hated all Hanna-Barbera except for Scooby-Doo because it was, like I said, it was creepy. It was supposed to have different stuff, even though they're all the same. Shaggy was always on weed,
Yeah.
him and Scooby were always smoking out.
I know, and then like Thelma and that. What was the dude's name?
Oh yeah, Daphne and Delma and
was it Freddy?
Fred, yeah. Fred.
Yeah, those two of those.
They always had that sexual tension between them.
You guys and the ugly chick, you go down the hallway there. Yeah. We're gonna go in the bedroom and see what's going on over here.
You go in that Raiders of the Lost Ark hallway where there's all kinds of traps. We're gonna go check out the bedroom. There's got to be some clues there. Yeah, man, it was the same, but like I said, I hated when they got Scrappy-Doo. Remember Scrappy-Doo?
Oh yeah, it was like the jump,
the little puppy.
Jump the shark
there. That was horrible. That's when they jumped the shark. For me, that's when I was like, nah, I'm not doing these. Yeah, it's great, but so we digress. Deadpool 2 came out, so hopefully, people who've seen it, they can let us know if it was any good.
Someone was telling me that it's better than the first one, which I don't know.
That it is?
That's what somebody told me, but I don't know. I'll have to judge for myself. But that first one was pretty good.
Yeah, the first one was pretty good, I'll admit. I liked it. You know what I liked? I liked that it had a lot of, cursing, and there's nothing wrong with a little bit of the nudity. Oh yeah. No, it was different. It was different for a comic book movie. That's what I liked about it. It just wasn't. It wasn't so. I'm not saying that the Avengers are, B-rated or anything, but I just felt like this one was just. It was a little bit odd. It was for adults, and I like that.
Yeah,
I'm an adult.
Yeah,
so
I liked it
fuck
because it was R. There wasn't as many kids in there.
Exactly. It was. That's what made it really good.
Yeah, I just watched Infinity Wars. It was.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was really good. I liked it.
Okay, I'll have to. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
so
I don't want to say anything because
I'll go watch it. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of good movies. Another one coming out. You see, next week is Solo Star Wars stories coming out.
Oh yeah, Han Solo's story. I don't know. I'm kind of getting nervous about that one.
I think a lot of people have been, but I guess with some of the trailers, some people are not feeling as nervous.
Oh really?
They're feeling like it might be all right, and I think a lot of people like Lando. And they like seeing that Lando, even as a young man, in there. I think they like, and they also like that actor, that Glover.
Oh yeah,
they like him, and so it seems like he might. I guess in my mind, I'm hoping he might save the show.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much he's going to be in it.
Oh, we'll see.
But
next
yeah,
week
but I mean,
we'll find out.
Yeah, it looks like it might be pretty good. But Donald Glover in there with him, I think it might be okay.
Have you seen his video?
Not yet. I started watching it one day at work, and I got busy with work, and I didn't get back to it.
It was pretty interesting. It's pretty good. The video
is it pretty interesting?
Yeah, it's like it's cerebral, I guess. I don't know. It's got a lot of like hidden messages kind of things in it where you watch it. And it's kind of it's supposed to kind of disturb you a little bit and make you think.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Okay, and you liked it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Dang, I haven't seen it yet. I gotta jump onto that.
It's different. Yeah, you should get on YouTube and take a view.
I don't know how long ago this was. I just barely saw it like today. But do you see that? I don't know when exactly it happened, but see that like in Oakland at that park, that white lady called the cops on those black folks having a barbecue. Yeah. Did you see that? And then she's all on the phone. Yeah, and then she's all starts crying.
I know. She's all puts on the tears like super quick.
She's all acting like like she's just totally
like she was the victim,
upset. Yeah, and she just turned it on, man.
I know. And then the whole time she was there, like the Terminator, all with their glasses and shit.
Yeah,
don't want to be black.
Exactly. Be black in your own home. I'm just like, fuck, man.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with people nowadays.
Yeah, it's kind of disturbing when you watch it, and it just obviously there's shitheads in every type of race, religion, whatever you want to say. But God, that lady, man, right now she's taking the cake because that is not cool. The way she was acting, and
I guess she was a professor at some
professor, yeah,
at some university or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and she took off her information off LinkedIn after they found out who she was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she did all that stuff.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people went after her online.
There's tons of memes out there, man. There's tons of them where people were just fucking, kicking her ass, making fun of her and putting her just with other like Adolf Hitler and that type stuff. There's a lot of things going off like that, and it's just like, damn, man.
Well, now that we're talking about crazy things, we should get into the strange news.
Yeah, we could do that.
Let's do that. Let's go. Okay, we'll take the break, and when we come back, we'll have some more crazy news for you.
It's time for strange news.
All right, so sticking on the theme of Solo and Star Wars, got a crazy story here about a guy. I guess he's a 42-year-old Pennsylvania man. He's facing assault and harassment charges after he beat his mom with a lightsaber.
He beat his mom with a lightsaber, like a real.
He beat his mom.
Not a real one, but I mean like a.
No, not a real one. Yeah,
it's all like a way to cut her in half.
They didn't say he sliced her apart. No. Yeah, he beat his mom up. Joan Vargas was 75. This guy beat up his 75-year-old mother, man.
Oh, what a.
She had she's bleeding, had gashes from her head and wrist, and she told the police that her son hit her repeatedly with what she called the lightsaber.
Was it like one of those plastic ones? She was just sitting at the dining
room chair. What's that?
Like those plastic ones you get the toy ones?
Yeah.
Man, he had to hit her pretty hard because those things are kind of flimsy.
Yeah, and he well, some of them are. I don't know how good quality there is because there's those ones you can buy like at Toys R Us that are flimsy, and and then you can fork out some cash for some really good ones.
That's true.
So I don't know which one this one was, but she was just chilling at the dining room chair when her son began striking her with the saber in the head, the back, the neck,
man.
the hands. Yeah, this guy. It's not cool, man. This guy was 6'4", 330 pounds.
Did he say why he did it?
No, man. He just he says that she did that to herself. He denied striking his mom and claimed that she was hitting herself because she has many issues.
What? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
Yeah, I know. Stop it! I can't stop you, Mom. You're only 4'11". I'm 6'4", and I can't stop you. You know. Yeah, he's
So
he was arrested, and this guy has a rap sheet, and includes prior convictions of theft, drunk driving, criminal trespass.
He's just a major douche to begin with, so.
Yeah, this guy was a piece of work.
Oh.
So I know it's Solo's good. This guy's not. So
well, glad he's in jail though. I hope he stays there for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Be no lady up like that.
Out,
but your own mom. What the fuck does it?
Yeah, don't beat up your own mom, man. Don't be doing that.
Was that on Mother's Day?
No. It was just a few days ago. It wasn't on Mother's Day though.
Oh.
But that would be even worse if it was.
That'd be shitty.
Yeah.
Hey mom, thanks for giving birth to me. Oh.
Yeah, I know. Remember we didn't let me have that snow cone when we were at Coney Island?
Everyone, I wanted that.
I've been
puppy.
waiting 40 years to do this.
What a dumbass. Speaking of crazy people, here's one where the police are searching for a woman who used bear mace on several employees in a South Seattle pizza restaurant. So it happened on May 11th. She came in and she was talking to the staff. She was having a conversation with the staff. And she said that after she was done talking with them, she left the building. And then all of a sudden, a couple minutes later, she re-entered the building and she sprayed 5 employees with a bear mace. And so,
what the fuck?
Was
there bears there?
I don't know. I guess not. I guess there was, but she sprayed them all with bear mace and left. And there was no reason why she did. I don't know. Maybe they said something to piss her off or whatever. But so they had to shut down the restaurant because there's so much fucking bear mace in there. Because
it's like a sauna.
Yeah, it was like getting
the sauna's all steamy and all that.
It was getting in the food. It was getting all
mace.
over the place. So they shut it down. The weird thing is a couple days later, 4 days later, a lady comes in, and she threatens the employees again, but with bear mace.
What?
Yes.
A different woman?
Yeah, a different woman comes in with bear mace. She didn't spray them, but she threatens the employees, and as soon as she said that, they call the cops. They get there really quickly, and they arrest her.
What the fuck?
They arrest her, and then but still I was thinking it was the lady they came back again, but it was a different lady. And
different woman.
So the police are still looking for the first suspect, and they said if you have any information, you're asked to call 911 or 206-233-5000.
Dang.
If anybody knows anybody with a lot of empty bear mace cans.
Bear mace canisters. What the fuck, man?
It's like the pizza must have been really shitty that he just goes, you can't eat this.
I know.
This ain't spicy enough for me.
I know.
Put some bear mace on it.
So that is pretty fucking weird. That is pretty odd. Those women seem like they're in cahoots somehow.
Yeah, especially there's two with the same weapon that they're. I don't know what the hell that's all about.
So first of all, nobody uses bear mace unless they're out in the forest, right? They usually don't use it just as a weapon, I don't think. And for 2 women to do that, that's some bullshit. So next one I got is an Iowa man says his dog shot him while they were playing. So
his dog's packing.
Yeah. So with best friends like these, who needs enemies, right? So this Iowa man, he says his dog inadvertently shot him while they were roughhousing on Wednesday. So this 51-year-old guy said he was playing with his dog on the couch, and he tossed his dog off his lap. And he says when the pit bull Labrador mix bound him back up, he must have disabled the safety on his gun on his belly band and stepped on the trigger. Oh, shit. So the gun fired, striking him in the legs.
Oh, crap.
And yeah, he got treated at the hospital and he was released later that day.
So did the dog get arrested?
Yeah. No, there's no video on it. You can't prove it. But the guy says that the dog's a big wuss and lay down beside him and cried because he thought he had done something wrong. The dog did. So So this guy, yeah, man, he got.
So did like he had the
fucked up.
he had the gun like holstered in his pants or something? And
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
dog just kind
the
of
dog, yeah, when the dog came and jumped back up on him, I must have disabled
must have fired
the
it off,
safety.
huh?
Yeah, I didn't know the safety was that easy that fucking even a dog could.
Well, that dumbass probably didn't have the safety on.
He was probably cleaning his gun or something, or maybe he was jerking off and he had the gun on.
He's all spinning it on the finger like the cowboys.
Yeah, I know.
The dog comes all
all
getting all excited, seeing it all spinning, and just jumps on it.
Yeah, and he just fucking shot himself and he's blaming the dog. So what do you got?
So I got this homeowner. It's this lady. She's got a couple kids and she was in the house at night, and all of a sudden the motion detectors go off on the alarms, and there's somebody in her backyard, but she was upstairs and she didn't want to go down there because so she called the cops and she waited in her bedroom, but she has like video cameras going off, and she sees this guy breaks into the house, so she's thinking, oh man, he's gonna come in and just take a bunch of crap or whatever, but he ends up going into the laundry room, and he just smells her underwear. So he's going through the laundry room and just picking her underwear out and smelling their clothes basically. And
everybody's or just hers?
I think from what it says on the story, it just says smelling the laundry, but I'm pretty sure like if you're gonna go through the women's underwear because it was some dude.
Yeah.
Because that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And then, so
I love smelling dirty women.
So he goes and she calls the cops, but he gets away before the cops can get there. But so
okay.
But I guess when she looked back on like her videos that she had, I guess he's been coming around a couple times. He just never set off the alarm before.
Oh shit!
So
this guy, he's that good that he's not setting off the alarm. He's not stealing shit. He's just smelling fucking.
I think
dirty underwear.
So he's just coming in smelling dirty underwear. So she's worried now. She's freaking out because there's this crazy guy coming.
Yeah,
I mean,
and who knows how long he's been doing
that.
Yeah,
no. So I guess he a couple months later, the day after this last Christmas, they caught him again, and he came in and he was smelling their underwear again, and so they called the cops. But the guy keeps getting away, so he
fucking panty sniffer.
Yeah, I know. So she's worried about her. She has 3 young kids, and
Sure.
and the neighborhood's kind of freaked out because they still haven't caught this guy. So the whole neighborhood's
Okay.
on, now that it's been in the news and stuff. Everybody in that neighborhood's kind of jumpy now about people coming by and smelling their underwear.
So, has anybody else noticed that, or just her?
So far it's just been her, but if your neighbor, she says it's a really good neighborhood. The place is like Sesame Street basically. There's nothing.
Yeah, real good. The
Except
people there who sneak in and smell your underwear can go unnoticed.
Except for that Oscar the Grouch that comes around trying to smell his underwear.
I'm gonna digress a little bit. Do you remember the show Sopranos?
Yeah.
Do you remember that episode when Paulie, remember he came to collect from Christopher when Christopher became maid?
Oh, didn't he smell like his
Yeah. So he it came it was like late at night, like at midnight, and he came in. He's like, "Hey, you're due to pay," and he's like, "Well, I don't have any money." He's like, "Well, you have all this, these shoes here. I'm gonna choose what I need. I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this." So him and his girlfriend Adriana had to sit on the couch, and Paulie's going through all his shit, right? Because he had the right to do that, right?
His money,
Yeah, he's being his captain. And Christopher's watching him, and Paulie like opens up to his underwear drawer, and he grabs the girlfriend's underwear. He just goes, he takes a big old whiff. And Christopher's watching him. He's like, motherfucker. He's just like, he can't do anything. And Paulie just takes a big ass whiff.
Big old whiff.
Yeah. And Christopher, like I said, the rules of being in the mob, you can't say anything, right?
You just gotta deal with it.
He just had to deal with it.
Every time you talk to that guy, he's just smelling your girlfriend's
Yeah,
underwear.
he's sniffing your girlfriend's underwear. But he just fucking opens up the drawer and grabs her underwear and just takes a big old whiff. So that's what made me think of when you said that. Oh, Sopranos, how I miss you.
Oh man, that was a good show. That was a good show,
man.
What else you got for us?
So I got another guy here. That guy was good at sneaking in. This guy's good at stealing shit as well. But this guy didn't just steal from a person. So a man allegedly used a change of address form to move UPS headquarters to his apartment. So this guy did he did this crime, a federal crime, but he did it really easy. He went to the U.S. Postal Service and he did a change of address for that company, and he changed it from their Atlanta headquarters to his apartment in Chicago's North Side.
So he was just getting all this mail?
So he started getting all their shit, like their anything,
like checks.
Oh wow, everything, yeah. Okay. And he was doing that for a while, and it was just simple as filling out a form at the postal service, and they forwarded it.
Oh, that pisses me off because when we changed our address, because we just moved like a year, was it 2 years ago? I'm still getting stuff at my old address.
Oh, they don't got that corrected?
Well, we get some stuff here, most of the stuff, but we still get stuff like the old address sometimes because it's my aunt lives at the place now, and she's always like, "Hey, I got some of your mail. I got some of your mail." So.
Yeah.
Apparently, I should have had that guy do the change of address for me.
Yeah. For nearly 3 months, mail addressed to the UPS's corporate headquarters was forwarded to his apartment.
So they say like how much money, like, or
he just said he received so much mail that the mail carrier had to leave it at the USPS tub outside his door. Yeah, he was just getting mass mail, but he deposited $58,000 worth of checks.
Oh shit.
Yeah, this guy it was just like an easy thing for him to do. I don't know how much he thought it through, or if he knew that the post office would not check. I don't know.
Probably not. I mean, because like, who goes there and changes that? I mean, it's like something most people wouldn't think of to do.
Yeah, this guy did it, man, and he got away for a few months. I mean, he got caught now, but for a few months, man,
you'd get away with it for a couple months before people started like, why aren't we getting these?
Yeah, why aren't we exactly
bills or or
whatever
checks are supposed to be coming in?
So yeah, so the headquarters for UPS, man, they were going to this guy's apartment in Chicago. So I don't know. Some things they seem complicated, but this just seems something really easy, and he got away with it for a little while.
You know, most hacking things are actually pretty easy from what
I know. Yeah, I know.
Most people
if you really just think about it.
Yeah, most people just like, it's like usually simple stuff like calling the house, like trying to get your information. You know, it's like, oh, we're so and so. We just need this bit of information to make sure that your account's safe, and people trust.
People will comply.
Yeah, people comply.
They'll just they'll give you the information, and it's to their benefit.
Yeah, people you always think of like hackers are all sitting there on the computers like breaking into all this stuff, and it's usually like really simple things to do it.
Well, I think some of the most successful hackers are ones who can get you to voluntarily give you up your own information.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean that's basically what Facebook is, right?
Pretty much.
Right? You're just volunteering all your information.
Yeah.
Nobody has to hack anything. They can put the pieces together.
Yeah.
They're not stealing anything. You're providing it, and I think that's what a lot of hackers do.
Yeah, I deleted my Facebook account.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I finally got tired of having it on there.
Oh, you had that for a while, didn't you?
Oh yeah, long ass time. So I just got rid of it.
Oh man, everybody you talk to is gonna miss you.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they will, but I won't miss them. No,
I just figure anybody I talk to, they text me.
Yeah, that's what everybody. I really talk to. They either have my phone number or we text. But like Facebook,
exactly.
I get tired of looking at people's kids' pictures that I don't really.
Or what they had for dinner.
Yeah, or what they had for dinner, or just some
glass of wine,
whatever drama or whatever little snarky comments they can put on there about how their
life's better than yours. Yeah. Basically, it's always something. Then they don't put anything bad on there, do they? Yeah, my wife just cheated on me today. Here's a guy that she cheated.
You know
on
what
me
I wish I was. You know what I always found interesting though is who's cheating on who's was getting cheated on, because it seemed like the people whose Facebooks had more like, oh, I love this man, or the more.
Oh, so like, oh, I'm so in love with him. I'm so blessed.
Every time, it's when I saw that,
God is giving me this guy.
Yeah, I'm like, something fucking happened.
This is full of shit. Like, this is too much. Like, hey, just tone it back a notch.
I know,
make it believable.
Like, because it always happened. Like, I would always see somebody on there, and they would start like, "Oh, my man, this," and
yeah, I love this man. He does so much for me,
praising how great he is, or they would like always forever in love kind of stuff, and they start putting all this shit on there, and it never failed. Maybe like a month or two later, divorced or single.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, really? Is that really what you noticed?
That's what I've always noticed when people get on there and they get too preachy about how awesome their spouse is, or whatever. It's always like it seems like it was overcompensating.
I know. You see some of the people on there. Yeah, I've met the man of my life, and he's the best ever. And it's like, weren't you saying that about the last two husbands you had? So, like I know you, and I know all three of your kids are from different dads. And this is the fourth guy. Like, how was this? How come each guy has been a godsend to you? Like, I don't get it, man.
How many times does it take?
Exactly. How many tries is God going to give you?
I know. How many ones? Is he the one? He's got to be the one.
Yeah, he is. Oh, he's the best ever. I'm his queen. And it's like, oh god.
Oh god, they're gonna break up.
Yeah, she's cheating on him. And the guys that are cheating, they don't post shit.
He's probably looking at the Facebook status while he's sleeping with the other chick.
I know. Yeah, she loves me.
She loves me.
I'm good. Yeah. So do you have any more news stories?
I got one more here. So basically, this guy, Norman Keith Whiteman, age 56, he was running around his town in Greenwood, and he ran into some officers, and he told them that he's looking for snakes. There's snakes everywhere, he says. And so he's running around town, and they're just kind of watching him because he's acting kind of funny. And pretty soon he comes by again, and he tells the officers that there's snakes in his pants.
Snakes in his
so
pants.
He's got snakes in his pants. He's looking for snakes, and he found them in his pants. And then he comes by again. And then he says, the snakes are starting to bite me. So he starts ripping off all his clothes.
This guy was high, man.
So like he's there on the side in plain view of on the side of the road, all these motors driving by. He's running around the streets naked, screaming about how the snakes were biting him in his pants. So the officers.
Oh, man.
So the officers, they took him down, took him to the police station, and it appears he might have been a little bit under the influence of drugs.
I was going to say.
Just a Tylenol or two.
Snakes would be a little bit better. It'd be worse if he said he had crabs in his pants. then he'd have an STD and you knew he had a real problem.
I know. Nobody want to touch him.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
Fuck that dude.
Throw him in the incinerator. Fuck him.
Yeah, so when the cops asked him, he denied having any drugs or alcohol. So.
Oh, denied it.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, I'm glad.
So that's normal behavior.
That puts that mystery to rest. Good that he cleared up for the cops. There's nothing to be worried about. I got one last quick little one.
All right, we'll do one more and then we'll get into
I'll go really quick. This is from my boy Drew B. He sent this to me in the Florida segment. So this is not a good story because someone in Florida died from an electronic cigarette explosion.
Oh.
So I think this is the first one where one of those e-cigarettes, the battery device blew up, and it killed the guy.
Really? I've known that they've blown up before, but I don't think I've ever heard them killing somebody.
Yeah, man. I guess that's going on now. The exact cause of the explosion isn't clear right now, but they're thinking it's the battery related issue. Maybe that's the reason. They're thinking that's what it is with the battery.
Yeah, that's usually the case.
But as of now, there's no exact known reason why. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't smoke, so I don't know anything about those.
Well, I heard they were actually weren't as safe as they claim to be, because I heard most people are saying cigarettes were really bad, which is true. I mean, they cause cancer
and everything.
But
sure.
But I guess I remember reading some studies saying that the e-cigarettes weren't any better. That it was just as bad as regular cigarettes.
Because in what way?
As far as with health and cancer causes, because you're still taking in a lot of shit, I guess.
Is it really? I honestly don't know. It's not something I ever look into because, like I said, I don't smoke, so I don't really pay attention to a lot of it. I know a lot of people went to that though when they first came out. I know a lot of people who were trying to smoke were doing those.
Yeah, I remember a couple of people they liked it because they can do it inside. because
Exactly.
it was like vapor or something like that, or
Exactly, yeah. A lot of people they did like it. They found like it was no problem at all.
well, I know they have like competitions where they vape. I don't know if that e-cigarettes and vaping is the same thing.
Oh, jeez, I don't know.
But I know they do a lot of like vape competitions, like who could do like the most smoke, or like the rings. They do smoke rings and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, that's all I got.
All right. When we come back, we're gonna have stories about stranger danger and everything in between. Should you never talk to strangers? I mean, how are you gonna make friends?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. You seem pretty scruffy. You smell like shit. You have that malicious. You have a malicious smirk on your face. Yeah, I'll get in your car.
Come on, let's do
I'll
this.
go play video games in your basement.
In your basement. So did you know that nearly 90% of missing children have simply just gotten lost, or have decided to just run away? So it's usually not a case of like people kidnapping you, but
Abductions.
Yeah,
or anything?
abductions, right? It's usually the kids that just either just run away from home a lot of times. And if you listen to the news, you would believe that children are being abducted left and right, by sinister strangers looking in the darkness, waiting for a chance to pounce. But the truth is, like 99.8% of children who go missing end up being found, and they usually end up finding their way back home. A good portion of children who are abducted are taken by somebody they know, usually.
Yeah, somebody they kind of trust.
Yeah,
right?
like a cousin, or it's usually like a family member, and usually like a custody dispute. Like mom and dads will try to take them.
Oh, I gotcha.
Kind of stuff like that.
I'm not gonna give you up.
Yeah,
I'm out with you.
And we've been taught to beware. Stranger danger. They would tell us.
Yep.
But in reality, only about 100 children, basically a fraction of 1%, are kidnapped each year in the stereotypical, stranger abduction you hear about in the news. So knowing this, does it seem more reasonable to be more afraid of people that you know than people you don't?
That's a good one. I don't know.
Yeah, so who should you trust? Your father, your mother, that creepy uncle that calls himself Mr. Tickle Monster.
Yeah.
If you can't trust people you love not to abduct you,
there's no hope.
Yeah.
There's no fucking hope.
Who can you trust?
Yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, the good news is, after hearing these tales, you'll question everyone and everything. So sit back and prepare yourself to be scared. The next time you go walking out to the corner store, you might not make it back. Uh-oh. So I call this Stories of Stranger Danger and Everything in Between.
All right. What do we got?
The first story is called Are You My Mommy? So when Dylan was younger, his father would always pick him up and take him home after the end of every school day. Then when Dylan turned about 11, his father had gotten a new job, and he wasn't able to pick him up anymore. So Dylan's parents decided that Dylan was old enough that he could walk home alone after school. And Dylan thought it was a good idea too. So Dylan was a little nervous, and so were his parents. So they got Dylan a phone so he could reach them, if anything happened, like an emergency. Yep. And then they spend the whole weekend before Monday comes, lecturing about the rules of stranger danger, while giving him a password. What's the password? Lettuce. Okay,
yep.
So that's so if it's not them, they're there to pick him up. They were all prepared. So Monday comes and Dylan goes to school, and he's all excited because he's going to be able to walk home with his friend Adam. The day goes by and school is finally out, and Dylan takes off. He meets up with Adam, and they both walk leisurely pace down, walking home. And they're talking about video games and funny YouTube videos that they saw. As they continue walking down the sidewalk, a dingy white van with dark tinted windows drives by and starts to pace them. They don't pay attention to the van at first, but Adam begins to notice the van following them and is distracted. And because of his distraction, the conversation kind of goes off, and Dylan realizes that there's something going on, and his attention goes to the van too. When they both start paying attention to the van stops, and Dylan notices that once they do that he realizes that all the wildlife, like all the noise that was around them, seemed to pause. So there wasn't any birds chirping or dogs barking. nobody cutting their lawn. It was just dead quiet.
The sun wasn't shining anymore. No.
It was just dead quiet.
Yeah.
It was a complete.
It's the middle of the night.
It's a complete standstill.
Yeah.
So they both watch as the dirty passenger side window of the van slowly rolls down, and to Dylan's surprise, on the driver's side sat his mother, or something that looked like his mother, staring back at him. So Dylan was confused because he knew his mother was at work and she didn't drive a shitty van. And all of a sudden, the world that had become super silent had broken, and a voice that sounded like his mother's came out from the back of the van saying, in kind of a robotic voice, "Dylan, it's me, your mother. I'm taking you home from school. Get in the van." The weird thing was that the woman that was in the van, her lips didn't move. And while the voice was coming out, she just sat there smiling with this robotic movement, and kind of like gears. You can kind of hear the gears working inside her head. The sound of his voice seemed to be coming from a speaker that was coming from the back of the van. So both Dylan and Adam stood there for a minute, not knowing what to make of it. Then all of a sudden, the giant slide door opened up, and the voice from the speaker blurted out again, "Dylan, this is your mother. I'm taking you home from school. Get in the van." So finally, the two boys they come to their senses. They're like, "Oh shit, what the fuck's going on?"
Yeah, this isn't right.
Yeah. So they take off running. They're going down alleyways, and they run so fast they don't even pay attention to what's behind them. So while they're running, they make it to Adam's house, and they just kind of wait there. They look out the window and they don't see the van coming by. They're out there, and so they called Dylan's parents from Adam's house, and they come pick him up, but they didn't really want to say what happened because it was kind of crazy. It was too weird. They didn't want.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. So they never said anything. He never said anything, and after that, nothing happened. But Dylan says he only saw the van once after that incident, and it was like a year after he saw it. But he was driving down to park near his house a few days after that happened, and when he did that day that he saw it, a couple days later, a 7-year-old girl was missing, and she was never found to this day.
So it was like a doppelganger or something that was in there?
I don't know. It sounded like it was like an alien, and they were just kind of like, we don't know what a human is really, so we just kind of make this representation of human, so we can capture them in the van, kind of thing.
Yeah, this vehicle seems safe. Let's use this to abduct them. Let's get the dirty white van.
This will bring the kids in.
Yep. Kids love vans.
So I have another story.
Okay.
Is he or isn't he? Is the name of it. And 4-year-old Michael Donaghy was playing in a playground in Victoria, British Columbia, on a beautiful March day in 1991. Bruce Donaghy, Michael's father, was only a few feet away watching him when he turned his attention to get something out of Michael's backpack. And when he was rummaging in there, and then when he found what he was looking for, he looked back up and he scanned the playground for Michael, but he noticed he was nowhere to be seen. So he's like, "What?" He's like, "Where the fuck's my kid?" So Bruce's heart, he starts racing, and he's running through the playground trying to find Michael, and he's asking everyone, "Have you seen my kid? Have you seen my kid?" Trying to describe him. He's out there for hours and he never finds him. He basically disappeared.
It's almost like my stories last week.
Yeah. So the police were called and they presumed that Michael had been abducted, even though every person that was at the playground witnessed that nothing happened. They never witnessed anybody being abducted or anybody being taken. So the Canadian police launched this massive search for Michael, and they got a huge amount of tips from the public, but they all led nowhere. So they did all this effort and they never found Michael at all. So time goes by, about 20 years worth of time, when out of nowhere this tip comes to the police that in Chase, British Columbia, there's a young man who bore a striking resemblance to Michael. They did the age progression picture. And so they kind of had an image of what Michael looked like when he was 20, and this kid looked exactly like him. So the police got out the DNA. They got the DNA from the 24-year-old, and to determine if it was Michael, And they did the test, and the parents were all excited. It's like, oh, maybe we found our baby. And then they find out that it wasn't him. The worst part of this is not knowing what happened. So, like, the parents have to live, if is he alive or is he dead?
Yeah.
And living in guilt, basically, taking your eyes.
Just not knowing.
Yeah, and then just the fact that his dad had, living.
Yeah, his dad was on watch.
Yeah, he took his eyes off for just a second, and then all of a sudden he disappears, and there was no one, It just kind of scary because it makes you realize that you really have no control in your life. Like, you don't. Yeah, anything can happen.
Just like I said, just like those 4 stories. The woman would take her eyes off the kids for like 3 seconds, and then you'd be gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
And you're just distraught.
So, but the last unconfirmed sighting of Michael was in June 1991, the day he was the time he was abducted. When a man attempted to abduct a 7-year-old girl in New Jersey, and the girl and her friends claimed they'd seen a small boy that matched Michael's description in the back seat of a car that the guy that was abducting him was driving. Like I said, I thought this was kind of a crazy story because, like 20 years they're just gone. You're living with that fear or that that anxiety that is he alive, is he dead, or what's gonna happen? Will they ever see him again?
I know. You just hope that one day, you just hope that he's not dead, and one day you'll meet up again.
Yeah, and that's like the worst fear, like for parents, like.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I remember taking my kid to the park and being like, ugh, like worried that something's gonna happen. Like if you just turn your head for a second, then she might be gone.
Having kids gives you anxiety.
It destroys your life.
It does, man. It does. Well, it does, right? Because you always worry that, like you said, is somebody gonna pull some shit or try to.
Yeah.
You can't take your eyes off them.
Yeah, and they're like all over the place. Like you can't.
Yeah, I mean they're carefree,
yeah.
Right? They don't know any better. They don't know that there's people out there trying to hurt them. That's rough. So you got any other stories?
I got one more story, and I call this one the Tree of Life.
Tree of Life, all right.
When Isaac was about 12 years old, he lived in an apartment complex near some woods. So it's kind of like we grew up, like by our grandparents' house, where we had that little woodsy area kind of thing.
Yeah, the forest.
Okay, yeah. So Isaac and his friends would play in the woods every day after school and all day on the weekends. And through the years Isaac lived there, he and his friends had cleared a small area of the woods, and they created like a treehouse that they called the fort. From things that they would find, in the dumpsters or where, whatever they can get from the house, and they had built this awesome fort in the tree, and basically it was their own little place that they knew about.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So one day Isaac and his friends were walking to the fort. Off in the distance, they saw a man walking through the woods too. He was walking parallel to them, but in the opposite direction. He was kind of a good distance away, and the boys stopped dead in their tracks, and they realized they weren't alone there, because usually when they're in the woods, nobody would be out there. It was just usually them kids, and it was the first time they seen like an adult out there or somebody out there.
Yeah, and it's somebody they don't know.
Yeah, when they were looking, the man must have felt them watching because all of a sudden he paused, and he slowly turned around and he started looking at the boys, and he's looking right at them. And as Isaac stared at him, he was able to make out some details of what the man looked like, and he realized that the man was wearing what looked like a clown mask, and he was also carrying an axe with blood on it, and he had blood on his arms and hands.
Okay.
So they stood there in silence and motionless. They didn't know what to do. While they were both staring at each other, trying to figure out what the next move's going to be. All of a sudden, the clown starts sprinting straight at him. Yeah. And Isaac, he looks to be moving really quick, but when they realize when he's running towards them that he has kind of a limp, so he's like injured. Okay. So like whatever he was doing before, he had hurt himself. So they figured,
they have an advantage.
Yeah, they're scared out of their minds. So the first thing they thought was, well, let's make a mad dash to the fort. It's the closest thing to us. So they were probably, he says, about 50 yards away from the fort. And so Isaac believes they can outrun the thing because, he's injured and,
seems hurt.
They're younger. So they figure when they get there, maybe they call someone on the cell phone to help them out. But in the 50 yards, the man or the clown or whatever that was, he gained a lot of ground on them for some reason. But so every time they turned back, it seemed like he's getting closer, and they're thinking like, how the fuck is this guy moving so quickly? So when they finally made it the axe wielding madman was coming upon them, and so they get to the clubhouse, they get to the fort, and they all have to take turns climbing up the rope. So one of them's going up and the other one's going up, and Isaac's like the last one to go up, and he's the last in line, and his heart's like racing because he's like, this fucking clown's getting closer, and so he's last. Yeah, he's the last one up. So finally it's his turn. He starts going up the rope, and his friends are screaming for him to climb faster. Go, go, go. So Isaac's almost to the top, and as soon as he gets to the top, he feels something grab his shoe. And he's like, oh, shit. And it starts pulling him down, and Isaac and his friends all freak out, and they start screaming, and they grab him, and they're pulling. It's like a little tug of war. Mm-hmm. And the clown's just like pulling on him, and his friends are pulling back, and finally his shoe comes off, and the clown loses his grip on him. And he gets up on the tree. They quickly pull the rope up, and the clown's fucking pissed off underneath the tree. And he's angry, he's furious, and he starts going and he starts chopping at the trunk of the tree with his axe.
Paul Bunyan.
So they're up there crying and freaking out, and the guy's just furiously hacking away at the trunk. And so Isaac, he remembers he has a cell phone, so he calls his dad, and he's yelling, he's like, and he tells the situation, we're up in this tree, there's this madman with an axe, and we're behind the house in the forest. And so he tells him the detail, and the dad's like, stay where you are, I'm coming to get you. So they watch the clown as it stops chopping at the tree, and he just starts slowly pacing around the tree, just watching him. And it seems like he's just going to try to wait him out. He didn't say a word, he's just walking around the tree, and he kind of has that limp. And they're up there for what seems like forever. They're crying. They're trying to console each other. They're trying to hopefully, praying hopefully that he doesn't get up there to them. But they're pretty good distance off the ground, so they know they're somewhat safe until like he can climb up there. But they know he's injured, so he's walking around, and the kids are patiently waiting for him to make his move. So like it's almost like 20 minutes, 30 minutes go by, and they're still up there, and he's still pacing, just watching them. Then after a while, from the distance, they can hear Isaac's father call out to him. So when the clown realizes that the boys had called for help, he just calmly walks away, and he disappears into the woods. And Isaac's father they call out to their dad, and they finally find him. And he gets them off the tree, and they call the police. And they had to search to try to find who this clown was, but nothing came up. Nobody saw anybody that was dressed that way. But this was at the time, like a couple years ago. Remember, there was a lot of clown reports.
Yeah, and all the activities.
Yeah, all that activity. This was around this time. And after this incident, Isaac and his friends really never went out there to the fort again.
So they never found out who the clown was.
Never. No one figured it out. No one knows who he is.
Sounds like a lot of like terrorizing. Fuck. I mean, I don't know. What are you gonna do with that clown? I mean, you saw the stories. I remember seeing those videos of the clowns, and then people like actually started like attacking the clowns. You ever see those ones?
Yeah, they would like try to fight back.
They went out there. Like I remember one guy went out and he had like a bat, and he hit the clown in the knees. Took him down. And then they started like beating him.
It's just some guy like going to a kid's party.
Yeah. No, I don't think so, man. I don't think that's what it was. Because the guy had like I think he might have had a machete out or something.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, like he was kind of like like antagonizing him, right? And so the guy's like, "Fuck this guy, fuck this clown," and there was a few videos when that happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I kind of remember seeing a couple of them, but I remember like, was it last year? Was it last Halloween? No, it was the Halloween before. Or maybe it was last Halloween. I just remember there was a ton. Like everybody was talking about.
It was like 2015, 2016.
Yeah,
there was like a lot of them.
Because I remember
they were coming out of the forest and stuff. Remember?
Yeah. Well, I remember they closed down the school because there was this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't in the town that I live in, but it was in like in a
close
the bigger town. Yeah, they had shut down one of the schools for the day because there was clowns reported being around there and they were saying that they were going to shoot up the school or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they pretty much had a clown day, I guess, and nobody showed up.
Damn.
But yeah, it affected a lot of people because there was.
I know it did. There was a lot of people freaked out. A lot of parents.
Yeah.
There was a lot of they were worried because I think when they first started seeing them, they were like by parks. So of course, those parents with their young kids there, right?
Yeah.
So of course you're freaking out there. If you see a machete wielding clown, But there was like a lot of them. Like there was a lot of people catching them on their home cameras and stuff. Like they'd be outside their houses, like staring at their houses, catching them on their surveillance videos.
Yeah, like they would they knew that they were being watched, so they would just go up there and like watch.
So they would do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, if they knew there was a camera, they'd all like antagonize, the camera.
It must have got old.
Yeah,
because I remember like it progressively got more and worse and worse. Because I remember like the first time it was a couple clown sightings and stuff, and people would say, and then the next year before Halloween, like there was just more clowns. It was just happening. Like everybody was talking about it, and then like it just went like crazy, and then all of a sudden like you don't hear about it anymore.
I don't know, man.
Because I remember last Halloween they really didn't really say anything about him.
It did. It kind of died down. I don't know if they're gonna, they're recuperating, they regroup. Maybe they're busy at the circus. I don't know, man. But I don't know, man. Like I said, every time, like all the videos I saw, whenever people like were, a lot of kids would be, like teenagers, be, always recording, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'd see them driving around like on like roads and shit, and they'd see them they'd be like on the side of roads, like out in the middle of nowhere. And then they would usually chase the cars, and the people would be scared. Some of the kids would be scared, like, get out of here, go. And then some of them were like, fuck these guys. And they'd get out and they'd like beat them up. They'd beat up the clowns and stuff. So the clowns seemed like they were ready to throw down. Like they were really, like they want to kill or something.
Oh, really? I think a lot of it they were just trying to scare people. I don't think they would have done
I
anything.
think so. I don't know.
Because this kind of is, people are just naturally afraid of clowns to begin with.
Of course. Yeah. It's a good element of fear, you can put into somebody. There's a lot of people scared of him.
It was really weird. Well, I have to say, because this year, because I remember that It movie came out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were doing that little balloon, the
Pennywise balloon.
People were doing like the little balloon everywhere to try to scare people.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there was like I said, they did die down, all the clowns. Again, who knows? Maybe they're out there. We just don't hear about them as much. Now we're hearing about, national news or other things.
That's true.
And maybe it's not as much, right?
Yeah,
maybe it's still out there.
It's not in the news cycle anymore because it's such old news.
Yeah, it's not new anymore, right? It's not. The national news seems to kind of trump all the rest of the news, So anyway, yeah, that's all scary, man. That's some scary shit. But next week, man, I'm gonna go back to those. People have been telling me they want more of those forest stories, so I'm gonna go back to those.
Are you gonna do the stairways?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna include the stairs.
Okay.
I'm gonna include what I find. So I'll talk about that and a few other things that are kind of disturbing, things that have happened to children that they found that are unexplainable.
All right,
but I'll get into
that next week. So for now, I think we're gonna have to call an end to the show.
Yep.
We will see you guys another time.
All right.
So have a good morning, evening, or night, and we'll see you guys next week. Until then, stay strange.
And bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
If you enjoy the show, please go to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you're listening, and please give us a good rating. If you want to share a story or have ideas for a future episode, you're welcome to visit us at www.thestrangepodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you.